and welcome to my channel Sew Let Sparkle with Sam, and today you can see I'm in a little bit of a different space. So I'm in exactly the same room, I'm still in my sewing room, but I've just turned myself around because now I've not been with you for a couple of weeks for a chatty kind of get together. I've still been throwing my videos out there and hopefully you've been enjoying those, but I've not done a regular kind of Friday sews for kind of catch up for a little while, and it's basically because I'm just finding that Friday and weekend posting just isn't working for me. I find it really difficult to kind of get all of that ready for that video, so I've kind of made a decision that I'm going to do a Tuesday sews, and I'm sure nobody will mind, but that is now going to be my regular day for my kind of catch-up vlog, and I hope that's okay. So yeah, so since I got back from holiday, I don't know, this month has been a bit of a funny month. I find that I've been really reflective this month. I know you're supposed to be in May, but you know, I've done it in April. I've been really reflective, and not just in my Handmade Wardrobe, but just in my life in general, and thought about making some changes. And one of the changes that I really wanted to make was to my sewing room, because I just felt that the space that I had just wasn't working for me. I'm really privileged. I'm really lucky. I've got a wonderfully big space. I've got a whole double bedroom that I can use to, you know, for myself. But yeah, I just found I wasn't using the space effectively, and I'm still not. I'm definitely in the process. But I did do some filming where I took some before and after footage of my kind of thinking to, you know, about how I was changing my space. So yeah, so my first thought was, oh, I wonder what it would look like if I moved my cutting table, because I've got a very large cutting table, to the window, because where it was before, I always had my back to the window when I was cutting, and I always wanted to kind of like move it forward and shove it out of the way to kind of give me more light. So I'm thinking, oh, hang on, this is silly, let's move it to the window and then see how everything else flows. So that was my first thought. So I did that, and I have to say I did it and instantly regretted it. Not because I didn't want it by the window, because I absolutely did, but the process of doing that meant I had to literally move every single item of furniture, every single thing, every single notion, every single bits and pieces, you know what it's like in a sewing room, to get that done and to move all of the other things. So it became a thought in my head of, oh, that will take me half an hour, to 6 hours later, sat in the middle of my floor of my sewing room thinking, what have I done? But I did it. Yay, go me. I did it. And actually, I'm really enjoying it now, and I'm really glad I did. I'm not done. I've got lots of things that I've still got to finish. I've ordered a few little things that might help me with my storage. I've decided that there's things that I used to use that I don't want to use anymore. My big thing was the way that I stored my threads before. I stored my threads on the little thread holders with the little sticks in, and it's just not working for me. One, because I have a lot of threads and I was finding that they were getting a bit dusty even though I had covers for them, because I just wasn't putting the covers on because life's too short. So I have purchased some little silicone pods, and then they'll go away in my drawers, because now I've rearranged my sewing area. I've actually got drawers and shelves right next to my sewing machine, which I didn't have before, and next to my overlocker, which I didn't have before. So yeah, so there's a few things, but once it's kind of all done, and once it's all settled, and once I know that things are working, then I'll do a little, you know, kind of tour around the sewing room and kind of go into more details of what I've done. But hopefully, just with the little bit of footage that I've shown you, you'll get an idea of what it's going to look like in the going forward and in the future. Hello again, it's editing me. So I forgot to tell you something really important. So I'm just going to go through really quickly what I'm wearing today. I'm wearing a sagebrush top by the Friday Pattern Company and a Marlowe cardigan, and the fabric for the sagebrush was from Carolyn Rose. It's just a very simple cotton, and then this lovely cable knit from First for Fabrics for my Marlowe cardigan, and I've just got it on with some, I'll try and put a full length picture because I've just got on with some ready to wear jeans, so they are a bit boring. But the reason I wanted to tell you is that I've been taking a photograph of myself every day and posting it onto Instagram because I am one of Sarah's insiders. So the Sew Your Own Style 24, hashtag Sew Your Own Style 24, from the lovely Sarah at My Handmade Wardrobe Patterns. She is, throughout the month of May, she is encouraging us all to have a real close look at our Me Made wardrobe and to kind of assess our clothes and assess our style. And I am taking part in that. So it starts on Wednesday, the 1st of May. So if you are not signed up, sign up today. It's completely free, costs you nothing. You might find out a lot about your style. See you there. So that's why I've been a bit quiet in the live thing, because I've just been getting on with it rather than telling you about it. I've just been doing it, so I hope that's okay. Yeah, so the time before I left you was just me talking about my holiday and my holiday kind of finds and things. So yes, and since I come back from holiday, I've just been working and just been really, really busy. So there's not really a great deal to catch up on, although yesterday was a great day. So today's Monday, as I said. Hopefully this video will be going out on a Tuesday because Monday's a really good day for me to film. And yesterday I was at Katherine's because on Saturday Katherine from Soberton Makery had her sewing social in the little village of Overton, which was completely delightful, in a little church hall, and it was lovely. And I met so many beautiful, wonderful sewing people, and I'm really glad that I went. But yeah, so the project that I took with me was one that I've been doing for a while. I've been doing the Libby shirt, so I'll just show you. It's Sew Over It Libby shirt. A little picture of the finished one there. And I know that Katherine loves this shirt. She's made it a lot. So, and I had been making it in the lovely virtual sewing room, which, by the way, my lovely friend Mandy of Make It So, she is going to become a host of the virtual sewing room. So please, if you haven't dipped in and you haven't kind of joined one of the virtual sewing, please do, because it is just such a lovely environment and it's really, really chilled. You do kind of learn a lot. If you've got questions, there's always someone with the answers. It is just absolutely fantastic. However, it does come with a warning. After me saying I'm not going to buy any more patterns, came the next day with some Sinclair patterns, which I hadn't really heard a lot of Sinclair patterns, but there was a lovely lady on there that did a really good sales pitch, and now I've got 5 Sinclair patterns to add to my stash hub, so that's exciting, and I'll show you those another day. But yeah, it does come with a warning. It will make you want to buy things. But also the other warning is chatting and sewing can be very dangerous, particularly if you think if you think, oh, I know what I'm doing. Turns out I didn't know what I was doing. So yeah, so I'll show you. It's not finished. I'll show you my Libby shirt. Now I pretty much got nearly to this stage when I'd taken it to Katherine's, but I had put the collar on and the collar stand upside down. I put both pieces upside down. when Katherine had a good look at it, she told me that she was actually really, really impressed with me that I'd managed to get it on upside down, because it was actually quite a tricky thing to do. But yeah, I blame the virtual sewing room. I was talking, I wasn't concentrating, but I knew I'd done something wrong because I'd seen lots of Katherine's and I didn't have this lovely shape here. Mine was rounded and I was like, I quite like it. You know, there's nothing wrong with the rounded shape, but I knew it was wrong. And Katherine was like, yeah, it's because it's upside down. So at Katherine Sewing Social, I spent most of the time unpicking my collar and unpicking my collar stand. And actually in the end, because I did have a little bit of fabric left over, I did decide to recut the collar and the collar stand because I knew it was never going to sit right again after all of that unpicking. But I did manage to save everything else. And so, yeah, so here is my Libby shirt. All I've got to do is put the buttons and the buttonholes on. I don't know whether you can see on this because I have already, I don't know whether you can see it, but I've marked with my white chalk where the buttonholes are going to go. But I have temporarily lost my buttonhole foot. This is partly to do with tidying my sewing room and rearranging where everything goes. It's taken me a little while to kind of figure out where everything is living, and so when I put things away, I sometimes don't put them in the right place, and then it takes me a little while to remember where I put it in a safe place. But it will turn up. And yeah, so but I am actually going into the workroom at work this afternoon because I've got some lovely ladies that I'm teaching to make a pair of pyjama bottoms. So I'm often hanging around a bit before and afterwards, so I may take this in actually and do the buttonholes while I'm there because it's something to do. So I may do that. So that may get done this afternoon, and then I just have to hem it. Now I made the longer version. There's two versions. You can do the shorter version and the longer version, and I always do, if there's an option, I always do the longer. But to be totally honest, I've tried it on and I might actually extend it next time. I'm going to do quite a small hem on it because it only just tucks into my jeans, just. I have got quite a long torso. I've got a long torso and short legs. I'm only 5'4", but yeah, my torso is my longest part of me. And so yeah, I will, I think perhaps add an inch, maybe even an inch and a half if I do it next time, because I do like the longer shirt. But I love the shape of it, and I love the fact that it's almost a Donny shirt, but with buttons, and for me that's brilliant because I love that shape. So yeah, now I'm gonna be really honest. I find Sew Over It patterns, I mean, they're great. They've got lots of pictures, they've got lots of instructions, but I just don't find them the easiest to understand. Now it is probably just me, but some of the language that they use in it for me is not sewing language that I'm used to. So yeah, so I think, and also again, personal preference maybe, but I'm not overly impressed with the finishing. Now I finished this exactly as it tells you to do it, but I don't know, I don't know. I'm not sure that having these bits here is the neatest way. I'm sure that they could have found a way to tuck that in. And actually, mine is a little bit neater than it says, because it just says to leave the overlocked edge here, and I've actually tucked it under and stitched it under just to give it that, yeah. So I'm not sure about that. And I haven't made enough Sew Over It patterns to really kind of have an opinion on it. But I'm gonna kind of persevere. I'm gonna keep going because it's a lovely shirt. So yeah, not beginner friendly, I would say. If you have not made a shirt before, that is not your first shirt to make. Definitely not, because I know a lot of beginners do follow me, and yeah, if you are going to your first shirt party, that is not the pattern to take. So yeah. However, another make that I've made this week or last week is this lovely little thing. I'll put a picture up of me wearing it, and it is the blouse. It is called the blouse. So, you know, it is the blouse. So April blouse. This is my entry for that as well, because it is a blouse. And in case you weren't sure, it's definitely a blouse. It's called the blouse. And yeah, so I made it in this beautiful fabric from Carolyn Rose, this lovely Bieber inspired fabric, and popped on these absolutely gorgeous green vintage buttons, which I absolutely adore. But these are the last of them now. These ones that I had in my pot, and they are now all gone. But they are just absolutely stunning. And this was a straight out of the packet, straight size 12, did nothing to it, just made it up. Came together really nicely, buttonholes went in really nicely. Yeah, the only thing is that I wear it a little bit different to the picture on the packet, because I would never do up those top 2 buttons. So I did actually start, because I had limited buttons, because I wanted to use these ones, I just didn't put that button or that button on. I just left it off, because I'm never ever going to do that button up, and I really wanted to use these buttons, so I just omitted the buttons and the buttonholes, because why would you do extra buttonholes? I don't know why. So yeah, so that's 2 things that I've been making. The next one, I really love these. So I've been very inspired by Mandy again, Make It Sew Mandy, who made some Sagaru pants, the Sagaru trousers from the Sagaru set from Friday Pattern Company. And I have to say, I really shied away from that pattern because of the top. And that was the reason why I shied away with it, because of the top. Because I was like, I'm never wearing that top. That top is not for me. So I kind of just disregarded the pattern because of the top. And then the chatter started about the trousers, how comfortable they were, how lovely they were. And I started seeing people wearing them without the top and just making the trousers. And I was thinking, do you know what? They look like comfy trousers. So I've made myself up. This is very much a wearable toile. This is very inexpensive. I think it's probably got quite a bit of polyester in it. It's just a fabric. I can't even remember where I got it from, but I know I didn't pay very much money, if I paid any money for it at all. It may have even been donated to me. But it's a pair of black trousers, which, you know, are super handy. It does need a little bit of a press, because it is just hot off being overlocked and finished. And I didn't shorten the length at all on the trousers, even though they are meant for 5'6" and I am 5'4". I didn't shorten the length, and I put them on and they fall just neatly to the floor. So if I'm wearing boots and stuff, that would be perfect. But when I put them on the other day, and I was putting them on with my trainers because I wanted to drive, and I find my trainers comfortable for driving, I did find them a little bit long for that. So I may just hem them up a little bit more, or I may think about, like, you know, if I'm making like summery pairs that I'm going to wear with sandals or trainers, I will make them slightly shorter, and then the kind of like going out trousery ones I'll make a bit longer, because sometimes you do want longer trousers and shorter trousers, don't you? So yeah, but these were, again, straight out the packet, size medium, because I normally make a large. Like if I make a sagebrush in Friday Pattern Company, I'll do a large, but looking at the finish measurement garments, and particularly the hip measurement, I thought actually a medium is going to fit me much better, and I was absolutely right. And if anything, I might grade it in a little bit more in the hips. Again, if I'm wearing them as a, you know, a nice pair of trousers, I may want them just a little bit more fitted. But actually for summer, nice loosey goosey. Yeah, so Sagaru trousers, big hit, just ignore the top. I mean, you know, wear whatever you want to wear, but that one definitely isn't for me. So the next thing that I made, and I also did make this up when I was at the lovely Catherine's sewing social, and is this, which is a very, very simple fold over backpack, and you just unpopper it, pop all your bits in there and popper it back up again, and then it just flaps over, and then I've got my handles on here, and then you can hold it on a tote. And I kind of took my inspiration from a couple of places. I took my inspiration from the Buckthorn backpack, and I took my inspiration from a backpack from Always Knitting and Sewing, but I've made it, I've changed all the dimensions, and I've changed all of the fittings and fixtures, because I want to do it in a workshop with children. So I've made it super simple to sew. I've taken out a lot of the elements and just made it a simple sew with everything enclosed, so that there isn't any complicated hardware for the children to have to deal with, and also without the hardware it makes it a little bit cheaper for the parents to buy all of the equipment that they need to make it. So yeah, so this was just a sample really that I made up to make sure it works, and then we'll be making this with the children in the workshop. And actually I'm really chuffed with it. So it's a cotton drill fabric. As you can see, I've made it in the camouflage because I think that will appeal to all, and I've made this with this lovely kind of striped webbing that we sell at Carolyn Rose, and it's a lovely cotton quality, and it's just a 1-inch webbing. I tend to use thicker webbing for adult bags, but for children's bags this is perfect. And then I've put a little Stitched with Love label in, because what I'm actually thinking of doing with the children is we have got some embroidery machines in the workshop, and the kids love having a go at them. So I thought what we might do is on this little strip we'll get them to embroider their names, and then they've got their name on their backpack. But you don't need to have to worry about that from a security point of view, because then when they're wearing their backpack, their name will be against their back. It won't be showing people what their name is, but it will be there so that they know. I mean, they don't have to put their name on it if they don't want to. They can just put a nickname, or they can just put something on it that makes it identifiable to them. Some of them will probably just put a silly word on, I should think. And that's fine with me. So it's just, you know, it's just learning a different skill, isn't it? So yeah, but I'm really chuffed with that, because I think it's a really nice size, and actually a really quick make. So at some point I will write down all of the instructions and sizes and stuff, and yeah, might share that maybe Vlogmas. This will be my little Vlogmas tutorial. I'm thinking about Christmas already. Isn't that weird? So yeah, so that's really my makes. So my plans for the next week or so is, I'm totally honest with you, my plans for the next week is I'm catching up with friends. I feel like I have been a bit of a bad friend recently, and I just need to do lots of catching up. So I've got lots of coffee dates, not coffee, I don't drink coffee, but other people do. I've got lots of kind of drinks dates and tea and cake dates with people, as well as work, but like in the evening I'll just be catching up. So I'm not going to plan an awful lot of sewing, but one thing that I would really like to get done is I really want to get this fabric sewn up, because I'm just so excited. So it's all been washed, it's all been dried, it's all ready to go. And I was going to do pajamas, but I've decided that I want to do a leisure set, still for wearing from home, but just something that I feel comfortable kind of lounging around in. And I actually watched today the lovely Sarah from Sew Sarah Style, and she made her leisure set in an hour. Now, I'm not going to put that kind of pressure on myself, but I am actually going to be using the same patterns that she is using, because I really like those patterns. So oh, this is the wrong book actually, but it is the right person. So it's Wendy Ward, but it's the Sewing with Knits book. I've got the Sewing Basics book and the Sewing with Knits, and I've just got the wrong one out because, you know, I make mistakes, I'm human. But the Sewing with Knits is the Durwood trousers, and they are a really, I've made a couple of pairs now. I love the fit. They're really super comfy and they come together really quickly. And then I'm going to do the LB pullover. I'm going to literally copy Sarah, because why not? Sarah always. Now, you know, this is definitely not Sarah's style, but this is a very Sparkly Sam style. So yeah, so if I don't get anything else done this week, this is what I'd like to get done. So yeah, that's my plans. So I hope you have enjoyed this like quick little catch up, and I hope you've all, you know, had a lovely week and had plenty of time to sew or do whatever it is that makes you happy and brings you joy. So don't forget to sparkle, and I'll see you really soon. Bye for now.